Hey, Stoic warriors, welcome back. The clock reads 4:47 a.m. Your eyes snap open before the alarm, not because you're disciplined, but because your mind is already at war. That familiar knot in your stomach has returned, the one that whispers you're falling behind, while everyone else seems to have figured out this thing called life. In the suffocating silence of dawn, your thoughts become vultures, circling around every mistake you made yesterday, every opportunity you missed, every person who seems to be doing better than you. Your pillow feels like quicksand. The longer you stay, the deeper you sink into that paralyzing cocktail of regret and anxiety. Seneca once wrote something that should be carved into every bedroom wall. Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and seeks the old. He wasn't talking about nostalgia. He was revealing that while everyone chases the latest morning routine, the newest productivity hack, the ancient Stoics had already cracked the code to mental dominance 2 millennia ago. They discovered 7 laws of morning mental warfare that transform ordinary minds into unconquerable fortresses. Not through motivation. Motivation is a fair-weather friend that abandons you when storms arrive. Through something far more powerful, systematic mental conditioning that rewires your neural pathways before the world has a chance to break you. These 7 rules aren't comfortable. They won't make you feel good initially. They'll make you feel alive. There's a difference between comfort and strength, between feeling good and becoming unstoppable. The Stoics understood that distinction. They watched Rome burn, faced exile, endured slavery, and still maintained such mental supremacy that emperors sought their counsel. What you're about to discover isn't another morning routine to add to your collection of failed attempts. This is cognitive architecture, building a mind so disciplined that chaos becomes your playground, obstacles become your teachers, and what breaks others becomes what shapes your greatness. Before we begin this transformation, commit fully. Like the video as a pact with yourself. Subscribe because this journey demands consistency. Share it with someone drowning in their own mental chaos. And whatever you do, don't skip ahead. Each rule is a crucial piece of psychological armor that protects the next. Now let's begin. Number 1. The Memento Mori Morning Stare. Death is sitting at the edge of your bed right now, invisible but patient. The Stoics didn't see this as morbid. They saw it as the ultimate mental caffeine. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life, Seneca commanded, not as a depressing thought, but as the most liberating truth you'll ever swallow. Tomorrow morning, before your conscious mind builds its usual walls of denial, you're going to perform the Memento Mori Stare. Set your phone timer for 90 seconds. Stare at your reflection in the darkened phone screen and whisper the words that most people spend their entire lives running from. I could die today. Not will die, could die. Feel that electric shiver run down your spine? That's not fear. That's clarity cutting through the fog of trivial concerns. When you genuinely acknowledge your mortality each morning, something profound happens to your psychological operating system. That argument with your partner suddenly seems insignificant. That social media envy evaporates like morning mist. That paralyzing perfectionism that keeps you from starting, it crumbles when faced with the ultimate deadline. A CEO I worked with told me he was too anxious to make major decisions, perpetually afraid of making the wrong choice. I introduced him to the Memento Mori Stare. Within weeks, he made more strategic moves than he had in 2 years. Why? Because when you truly grasp that your time is finite, The fear of making mistakes becomes smaller than the fear of making nothing at all. The ancient Stoics carried coins with skulls on them, kept paintings of death in their studies, not because they were depressed, but because they understood that contemplating death is the only way to truly taste life. When you remind yourself each morning that this could be your last day, you stop sleepwalking through existence. You stop saving your authenticity for tomorrow. You stop waiting for permission to be who you really are. Number 2, the negative visualization chamber. While everyone else practices gratitude, you're going to practice something infinitely more powerful: voluntary mental demolition. Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest men, regularly spent nights sleeping on the floor, eating only bread, wearing rags, not as punishment, but as psychological immunization. What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster. He wrote, "Every morning, after acknowledging death, spend 3 minutes in what I call the negative visualization chamber. Close your eyes and vividly imagine losing something precious, not superficially. Dive deep into the sensory details. Your house burns down. Smell the smoke. Feel the heat. See your possessions turn to ash. Your relationship ends. Hear the door slam. Feel the emptiness in your chest. Taste the salt of tears. Your job vanishes. Experience the humiliation, the fear, the uncertainty flooding your system. Your mind will resist violently. It will scream that you're inviting bad luck, that you're being pessimistic, that successful people don't think this way. That resistance is exactly why you must persist. You're not manifesting disaster, you're building psychological antibodies. When you've already grieved losses in advance, nothing can ambush your mental fortress. An entrepreneur once told me his biggest fear was losing everything he'd built. The anxiety was eating him alive, making him micromanage obsessively, destroying his relationships. I prescribed the negative visualization chamber. First week was torture. Second week, something shifted. By month's end, he said something remarkable. I realized that even if I lost everything, I'd still have the mind that built it all in the first place. This practice doesn't make you pessimistic, it makes you invincible. When you've mentally rehearsed the worst-case scenarios, you stop living in fear of them. You make bolder decisions because you know you can handle the consequences. You love deeper because you've already processed the potential loss. You risk greater because you've already survived the failure in your mind. The paradox that scrambles most people's circuits: mentally experiencing loss makes you appreciate what you have more than any gratitude journal ever could. When you've spent 3 minutes imagining life without your partner, their annoying habits transform into endearing quirks. When you've visualized bankruptcy, your current struggles seem like luxury problems. Number 3, the Rage Alchemy Protocol. Anger is coursing through your veins right now. Maybe not burning hot, but simmering toward that person who betrayed you, that situation that's unfair, that life that hasn't delivered what it promised. Marcus Aurelius, commanding legions while his own generals plotted against him, discovered something revolutionary. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Tomorrow morning, you're going to perform what ancient Stoics called emotional transmutation, but I call the Rage Alchemy Protocol. Stand up, clench your fists until your knuckles turn white, and let every ounce of fury flood your system. Don't suppress it, amplify it. Feel your jaw tighten, your breathing accelerate, your muscles coil like springs. For 30 seconds, become your anger completely. Then, and this is where most people fail, you're going to speak directly to that rage like it's an entity. You are energy, you are power, you are fuel. But you will not drive, You will propel. Take that volcanic force and channel it through your body into 3 explosive movements. Push-ups until your arms scream, jumping jacks until your lungs burn, shadow boxing until sweat stings your eyes. You're not exercising, you're alchemizing poison into power. A woman came to me consumed by rage toward her ex-husband who'd emptied their savings. Every morning she woke up rehearsing revenge scenarios, her cortisol levels destroying her health. The rage alchemy protocol changed everything. She didn't forgive him, she transformed him into fuel. That anger became the energy that launched her business. That rage became the determination that rebuilt her fortune. 6 months later, she sent me a message. I'm almost grateful for what he did. Not to him, but to the fury that made me unstoppable. Society tells you anger is wrong, that you should release it. Let it go. Breathe it out. Garbage advice from people who've never harnessed the nuclear reactor of properly directed rage. The Stoics knew better. They didn't eliminate anger. They weaponized it. Every dictator who oppressed them, every tragedy that struck them, every injustice they faced became psychological rocket fuel. Your anger isn't your enemy. It's your sleeping dragon. Most people let it burn them from inside or spray it chaotically at others. You're going to ride it. That person who said you'd never amount to anything, thank them tomorrow morning as you convert that memory into metabolic fire. That failure that humiliated you, bow to it as you transform that shame into physical power. Type this with fury: my rage is my rocket fuel. Number 4. The isolation experiment. Loneliness is the secret terror nobody discusses at parties. That hollow ache when you realize nobody truly knows you. When you understand that ultimately you're alone in your skull, performing for an audience that's too busy performing their own show to notice yours. Epictetus, ripped from his family and sold like cattle, discovered the antidote. All philosophy lies in 2 words: sustain and abstain. Every morning you need 5 minutes of what I call the isolation experiment. No music, no podcasts, no motivational content. Just you and the terrifying silence of your own consciousness. Sit in complete stillness and let the loneliness wash over you like ice water. Feel that desperate hunger for distraction, for notification sounds, for any escape from the crushing weight of your own company. This is where warriors are separated from weaklings. In that unbearable silence, you'll meet the real you, not the performer, not the people-pleaser, not the curated version, the raw, unfiltered, possibly disappointing you. Most people spend their entire lives running from this encounter. They'll do anything: toxic relationships, mindless consumption, endless busy work, to avoid sitting alone with themselves. But when you deliberately practice isolation each morning, something miraculous occurs. The loneliness transforms from a prison into a fortress. You realize that the person whose approval you need most is staring back from the mirror. You understand that solitude isn't emptiness. It's where your power regenerates. You discover that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means being complete. A surgeon told me he couldn't handle being alone for even 5 minutes without reaching for his phone. His entire identity was built on external validation, likes, comments, professional accolades. The isolation experiment broke him initially. First day, he lasted 40 seconds. Second day, 90. By day 30, he was sitting for 20 minutes in complete silence, tears streaming down his face. Not from sadness, but from meeting himself for the first time in 43 years. The modern world has made solitude synonymous with failure. If you're alone, you must be unwanted. If you're quiet, you must be boring. This is the greatest lie ever sold. Every genius, every visionary, every revolutionary spent vast hours in isolation, not because they were rejected, but because they understood that all power originates in solitude. Tomorrow morning, when that unbearable urge to grab your phone strikes during your isolation, remember that discomfort is your addiction screaming, that anxiety is your false self dying, that fear is your authentic power being born. Number 5. The poverty practice. Wealth isn't making you soft. The fear of losing wealth is making you weak. Seneca, advisor to emperors and owner of multiple villas, regularly practiced voluntary poverty, not as philosophy, but as psychological warfare against his own attachments. Every man is in bondage to fear who depends upon chances for his happiness. Tomorrow morning you're going to perform the poverty practice. Choose your worst outfit, the one you'd be embarrassed to be seen wearing. Eat the plainest breakfast possible. Plain rice, a piece of bread, water, no coffee, no supplements, no comfort foods. Sit on the floor instead of your comfortable chair. Take a cold shower without adjusting the temperature. For 1 hour each morning, live like you've lost everything. Not as visualization, but as visceral experience. Feel the scratchy fabric against your skin. Taste the blandness that would be luxury to billions. Experience the floor's hardness that your ancestors called bed. Let the cold water remind you that comfort is a recent invention. Your ego will revolt violently. "This is stupid," it'll scream. "Successful people don't do this. You've worked hard to avoid this." Perfect. That revolt is exactly what we're hunting. That discomfort is your psychological dependency revealing itself. Every luxury you can't temporarily abandon owns you. Every comfort you're terrified to lose controls you. An investment banker making 7 figures couldn't sleep without his specific pillows, his precise room temperature, his white noise machine. Business trips were torture. Relationships failed because he couldn't adapt to others' environments. The poverty practice broke his dependencies one by one. 6 months later, he slept soundly on airport floors during delays. He closed deals in conditions that sent competitors running. His girlfriend told me, "It's like he became unbreakable." This isn't about rejecting success or punishing yourself for abundance. It's about ensuring your happiness isn't held hostage by circumstances. When you've practiced poverty, actual hardship loses its terror. When you've chosen discomfort, imposed discomfort loses its power. When you've voluntarily lived with less, involuntary loss can't break you. The twisted irony that only the Stoics understood. Practicing poverty makes you wealthier. When you're not afraid of losing money, you make bolder investments. When you're not attached to comfort, you take bigger risks. When you know you can be happy with nothing, everything becomes a bonus, not a necessity. Number 6. The enemy mirror meditation. Your greatest enemy is reading this with you right now, breathing when you breathe, moving when you move. Marcus Aurelius knew this when he wrote, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others." Tomorrow morning, you're going to perform the enemy mirror meditation. Stand naked before your mirror. No hiding behind clothes, no flattering angles, no filtered light. Look directly into your own eyes for 2 full minutes without breaking contact. Watch as your mind begins its assault, criticizing your body, listing your failures, comparing you to others, reminding you of every embarrassing moment. Don't fight these thoughts. Study them like a scientist studying a virus. That voice tearing you apart, that's not truth. That's programming. Years of other people's opinions that you've internalized until they became your inner narrator. The schoolyard bully's words still echoing, your parents' disappointment still stinging, society's standards still measuring. Now comes the revolution. While maintaining eye contact, speak directly to that reflection. You are my oldest enemy and my only savior. Every morning you try to destroy me with doubt, and every morning I use that doubt as intelligence about what needs strengthening. You are not my master. You are my sparring partner. A professional athlete came to me, destroyed by performance anxiety. Despite breaking records, she heard only criticism in her head. The enemy mirror meditation revealed something shocking. The vicious voice she thought was pushing her toward excellence was actually sabotaging her potential. She wasn't fighting opponents anymore. She was fighting herself and losing. Week 1 of the practice was brutal. She couldn't last 30 seconds without crying. Week 2, anger replaced tears. Week 3, something shifted. She texted me, "I finally see it. My inner enemy isn't trying to destroy me. It's showing me exactly where I'm still vulnerable." That season, she didn't just break records, she obliterated them. The voice in your head that says you're not enough. It's not lying, it's incomplete. You're not enough, yet. You're not successful, yet. You're not who you want to be, yet. That enemy in the mirror isn't your prosecutor. It's your intelligence officer reporting where your defenses need reinforcement. Most people spend their lives either fighting their inner critic or surrendering to it. Both are mistakes. You don't defeat this enemy, you recruit it. Every harsh judgment becomes valuable data. Every self-doubt becomes a map to your next evolution. Every internal attack becomes training for external battles. When you can stand naked before yourself, physically and psychologically, without flinching, without looking away, without reaching for comforting lies, you've achieved what most humans never will: radical self-confrontation. Not self-love. That's too easy. Not self-hate. That's too weak. Self-confrontation. The courage to see yourself completely and still stand firm. Number 7. The Amor Fati Lightning Round. Fate is about to punch you in the face today. Maybe through a rejection email, a relationship ending, a diagnosis, a failure. The Stoics had a phrase that modern positive thinkers can't stomach. Amor Fati, love your fate. Not accept it, not tolerate it, love it. Nietzsche, studying the Stoics, went even further. That one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. Tomorrow morning, complete your discipline with the Amor Fati Lightning Round. Set a timer for 3 minutes. Rapid fire list everything wrong in your life right now. Don't filter, don't soften, let it pour out like poison. Lost job, failed marriage, sick parent, crushing debt, wasted youth. Whatever bleeds, let it bleed onto the page. Now, without pausing to think, right next to each disaster, this is exactly what I needed. Your logical mind will short-circuit. Good. Logic is what got you into this mess of resistance. You're rewiring something deeper, your fundamental relationship with reality itself. That betrayal that shattered your trust. This is exactly what I needed to learn discernment. That illness that stole your strength. This is exactly what I needed to discover what strength really means. That failure that humiliated you publicly. This is exactly what I needed to burn away the ego that was limiting my growth. This isn't delusional positivity, it's psychological alchemy at its purest. You're not pretending bad things are good. You're recognizing that your judgment of bad is what creates suffering, not the events themselves. The event is neutral. Your resistance makes it torture. An entrepreneur lost everything in 2020. Business destroyed, marriage ended, health collapsed. He found Stoicism in his darkest moment and began the Amor Fati Lightning Round. First morning, he wrote one item through tears: lost everything. Next to it, trembling, he wrote, "This is exactly what I needed." 6 months later, he sent me his list. Hundreds of disasters, each paired with, "This is exactly what I needed." But the final entry stopped my heart. The man I was had to die completely. This is exactly what I needed, to become who I was meant to be. When you love your fate, not despite its horrors but including them, you become psychologically invincible. Problems don't disappear, but problematic relationships with problems dissolve. Pain doesn't vanish, but suffering, which is pain plus resistance, becomes impossible. Tomorrow morning, when you write, "This is exactly what I needed," next to your disasters, you're not lying to yourself. You're acknowledging a truth so profound that most humans die without discovering it. Everything that happens to you is the perfect training for who you're becoming. The universe isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. Type with total conviction, "My fate is my perfect teacher." The alarm will ring tomorrow at 5 a.m. or maybe 4 a.m. for the warriors among you. And in that moment of consciousness, you'll face the same choice every human has faced since we developed self-awareness. Will you remain a victim of your mind, or will you become its architect? These 7 Stoic disciplines aren't comfortable morning routines. They're psychological chemotherapy, killing the weak parts of your mind so the strong parts can flourish. The Memento Mori Stare, the negative visualization chamber, the rage alchemy protocol, the isolation experiment, the poverty practice, the enemy mirror meditation, the Amor Fati Lightning Round. Each one strips away another layer of mental weakness until only your indestructible core remains. Marcus Aurelius wrote these words in his tent, surrounded by death and betrayal: "Confine yourself to the present." He wasn't giving advice. He was documenting his own battle strategy against mental chaos. 2,000 years later, his weapons are your inheritance. Tomorrow morning, you begin. Not all 7 at once. Start with 1. Master it for a week before adding another. By day 49, you'll be performing all 7. By day 100, you won't recognize the person who started this journey. They'll seem like a stranger who once inhabited your body, anxious, reactive, fragile. You'll want to reach back through time and tell them it gets better. But they wouldn't believe who they become. If this video has stirred something primal in you, that part that's tired of being pushed around by your own thoughts, then like it now as a declaration of war against your mental weakness. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, because this channel is your daily training ground. Share this with someone drowning in their own mind. Sometimes the greatest gift is showing someone their prison has a door. Drop your war cry in the comments. Tomorrow morning, I stop negotiating with my mind and start commanding it. The Stoics are watching. Your ancestors are waiting. Your future self is calling. Will you answer?